I wake before the sun, same as I've done for the past 17 years. The air's still cool, dew clinging to the grass like it doesn't want to let go. My boots crunch against gravel as I head out to the barn, tipping my hat at the sky like an old habit. The rooster's late today. Or maybe I'm early. Out here time folds in on itself. It's quiet, peaceful. My kind of morning. I fire up the old green tractor, feeling the engine rumble under me like a sleeping bear waking up. The land stretches wide and golden beyond the fence. 60 acres of stubborn Texas soil that's been in my family since my granddaddy bought it in '54, back when folks didn't much like the idea of a black man owning anything bigger than a porch. But times changed. Or so they say. My wife, Angela, waves from the porch, coffee in one hand and her phone in the other. Her smile's warm as the sunlight creeping up over the hill. Inside, our two boys get ready for school, arguing over cereal. It's a simple life. Honest work. I serve as the county sheriff and work this land on weekends. Keeps me grounded. But lately the peace don't sit right. I first noticed it 2 weeks ago. The new HOA president, a sharp-jawed, stiff-haired woman named Karen Whitfield, leaves a note on our mailbox. Please paint your barn to match community standards. She's got the kind of cursive that tries too hard to be polite. Never mind that my barn's been red for longer than her manicured self's lived here. I ignore it. Figure she's new and overeager. But yesterday I spotted her walking along my fence line, squinting at the cattle like they were trespassing. She didn't wave. Just pulled out her phone and snapped pictures. But what, I don't know. Maybe the sag in the wire, maybe just my face. This subdivision snuck up fast. What used to be miles of pastures now paved over, neat little homes pressed against my boundary. We didn't mind at first. Folks kept to themselves. But now they've got rules, newsletters and committees. And Karen. Angela says to give her grace. She's probably just trying to keep things organized, she says. But I've seen that look before. The tight smile. The too slow blinking. The way she clutches her purse tighter around me than around anyone else. I drive past the fence this morning and pause. There, scattered across the grass like metal raindrops, are nails. Big, thick roofing nails. Fresh. My stomach knots. Could be nothing. Could be kids. Could be wind. But my gut says otherwise. And in my line of work, your gut's never just noise. I kill the engine and hop down, crouching beside the pile. They're set in just the right spot. Right where my tires roll every morning. Right where a careless turn could cost me thousands. I look up at the row of houses beyond the fence. Karen's porch light flicks off. And somehow that feels like a warning. By Thursday I find a second set of nails. These ones are buried deeper into the dirt, heads poking up like silver thorns just beyond the gate. Different size, same intent. I wouldn't have seen them if the sun hadn't caught the edge just right. Someone wants me to drive over them. Someone who knows my routine. Angela frowns as I carry the handful inside, dropping them on the kitchen table like dead evidence. Could be the wind again, she says, but her voice is softer now, less certain. I nod, though I don't believe it either. The wind doesn't scatter nails in neat little traps. It doesn't know the weight of a tractor tire or how much a popped one costs out here. At the station I pull up the HOA documents. Karen had them emailed to every resident last month like some kind of declaration. She's been president for less than a season, but she's already rewritten most of the bylaws. Curb uniformity, shared aesthetic values, neighborhood safety standards. That last one makes me pause. There's a paragraph buried under the safety section. Livestock within visible proximity to residential lots must be reported for review by the HOA board. All fencing and agricultural equipment must meet subdivision standards. Subdivision standards? This isn't a subdivision. It's my land. I head home early, pulling up just in time to see Karen standing near my fence again, talking to a man with a clipboard. She's got that same pinched look on her face like she's smelling something foul. She doesn't see me at first. She's pointing at my barn, at the cattle, at the tractor path. The man scribbles something down. I step out of the truck. She notices me and stiffens. Her smile appears like a switch was flipped. Oh, Sheriff Brooks. Her voice is too sweet, too tight. Didn't expect to see you home this early. Didn't expect an inspection happening on my land, I say flatly. Oh, we're not on your land, she chirps. We're assessing proximity issues. The homeowners have concerns. Which homeowners? She waves vaguely at the row of pristine houses like she's conducting a symphony. Several. Funny, I say, folding my arms. None of them said anything to me. Karen's eyes narrow just a flicker. Well, not everyone's comfortable voicing their concerns directly, especially when it's sensitive. There it is. He lets it hang, that word. Sensitive. I see, I say, voice low. The man beside her clears his throat, shuffles his clipboard. We'll be in touch. They walk off without another word. I watch her heels click down the sidewalk, hair bouncing like she's already won something. Like this place belongs to her. That night, I sit on the porch long after the sun disappears, watching the fence line. And I realize something. This isn't about rules or barn paint or nails. This is about reminding me I don't belong here. And Karen Whitfield just declared war. By the next morning, my barn's been spray painted. Big, dripping letters across the side facing the road. Not safe. Filthy. Angela gasps when she sees it. The boys go silent, cereal spoons frozen halfway to their mouths. I don't say anything. I don't have to. My fists already know how tight to clench. I head out, snapping photos from every angle. The paint's fresh, still tacky. No footprints, no cameras near that side of the property. I check the tire tracks on the road, just one small set leading away. I follow them halfway to the cul-de-sac where the subdivision ends. Karen's silver Lexus sits in her driveway. Clean. Polished. Too perfect. I walk up her porch, knock once. She opens the door like she's been waiting for me. Sheriff Brooks, she says, drawing out the title like it's a joke. Everything all right? You know why I'm here. She lifts her brows. If it's about that graffiti I heard. Terrible. I warned you, didn't I? This neighborhood isn't used to agricultural mess. She says it like mess means me. I'm installing cameras today, I say. Any more damage to my property and I'll open an investigation. Her smile flickers for a heartbeat. Feel free. But you'll need to coordinate that with the HOA's visual compliance guidelines. You think I care about your guidelines? Karen leans against the doorframe, that condescending calm sliding back into place. This community has standards, Sheriff. We're trying to maintain a certain quality of life. And frankly, people are uncomfortable. Your presence, the livestock, the equipment, none of it aligns with the image we're cultivating. She says presence like I'm pollution. I take a step forward. This land's been mine since your house was a blueprint. You don't get to rewrite the rules. I already have, she says, eyes gleaming. Check the latest HOA mandate. Voted on unanimously. I walk away without another word. But I'm already building my case. At the sheriff's office, I pull phone records, anonymous complaint logs, and HOA meeting notes. Karen's name shows up more times than I can count, targeting residents with older vehicles, porch furniture she deems low value, and one black family who painted their mailbox blue. She filed 4 complaints about that mailbox. I call Andre, one of my deputies and the only other black officer in the county. He's been watching the situation too. I've had 3 neighbors tell me she warned them you'd bring urban decline, he says. That you'd drop their property values. Got that in writing? Working on it. That night, I install 6 motion-triggered trail cams along the fence line and driveway. Hidden in trees under eaves. They record to the cloud, time-stamped. I add a sign near the barn. Smile. You're on camera. 2 days later, my tractor tires are slashed. All 4 of them. Cost to replace. Nearly $5,000. Karen's Lexus cruises past as I'm inspecting the damage. She doesn't stop, doesn't wave. But I catch the smirk before she turns the corner. This time I call the sheriff's department, not as a cop but as a citizen. They send Deputy Ramirez. Good man but young and new. He looks at the damage, jots notes, but I can tell he's nervous. You sure you want to file formal charges? He asks. Against the HOA president? Why wouldn't I? He hesitates. People talk, sir. About tension. Maybe it's just misunderstandings escalating. I stare at him. Is that what this looks like to you? A misunderstanding? He swallows hard. I'll file the report. Angela brings me lemonade as I sit on the porch that night, watching that fence like it's a front line. The wind carries the sound of laughter from across the subdivision. They're having a block party. We weren't invited. I scroll through the footage. Motion blur. Fox in the brush. Then I freeze. A figure. Hood up. Slim build. Walking along the fence with something heavy in their hands. Karen. It's not clear enough to say. Yet. But the next morning I catch her standing at the property line with 2 HOA board members pointing again. This time they've got a city inspector with them. I step out with my badge clipped to my belt. Morning, I say. You planning to trespass or just loiter? Karen's mouth tightens. The inspector frowns. This is a zoning review, she says, waving a clipboard. The HOA believes your barn violates visual code and might sit past boundary lines. That barn's been in the exact same spot for 60 years. Well, Karen says, her eyes flashing, times change. I smile slow and cold. Yes, they do. Because now I've got her on camera. And soon the whole town will see it too. Saturday morning starts with a crowd. Karen's posted flyers around the neighborhood, neatly folded HOA violation notices, slipped into every mailbox. They're bold, red-lettered, and dripping with false authority. Unsafe structure. Unapproved livestock. Failure to comply. Mandatory hearing at 10 a.m. Community clubhouse. I find mine stuck to the gate, scotch tape like a bad joke. He's bold now. Reckless. He thinks I'm cornered. Angela's furious. She thinks she can hold a fake trial? No, I say, sliding on my sheriff's jacket. She thinks I won't show. But I do. And when I walk into that beige-walled clubhouse, every head turns. The room smells like coffee and fresh-baked lies. Karen stands at the center like it's her courtroom. Blonde bob perfect, pearl necklace gleaming, lips painted in that smug, practiced smile. Sheriff Brooks, she says sweetly, like I'm late to a party I was never invited to. Glad you could join us. The board members sit behind her at a fold-out table stacked with files. Some neighbors stand awkwardly against the walls. Others sit stiff in plastic chairs. Everyone's quiet. Karen claps her hands. Let's begin. We've reviewed multiple complaints about your property. Zoning violations, aesthetic damage, noise disturbances. And unfortunately, after much consideration, the board has unanimously decided to fine you $2,500 per infraction. Effective immediately. Failure to pay will result in a formal lien against your property. Gasps ripple across the room. She beams. You're welcome to appeal, of course, she adds. But in the meantime, your tractor use, livestock, and outbuildings must cease. Effective today. I step forward slowly, unclip my phone, and connect it to the screen projector behind her. Is that a presentation? She scoffs, turning to the board. I wasn't aware he'd. I tap play. Footage rolls. Time-stamped. Night vision. Crystal clear. Karen in a hoodie pacing along my fence. Pausing. Dropping something shiny into the grass. Next clip, same night, different angle. She walks back with gloves on. Bends down. Something sharp glints in her hand. The room goes dead silent. I let it play. Third clip, daylight now. Karen again. Her Lexus idling as she lowers herself behind the tractor. A small knife in her hand. Tires flatten minutes later. Gasps turn into murmurs. Karen spins toward the screen. This is taken out of context. That could be anyone. I pause the video. Zoom in. Her face. Clear as day. I lift my eyes. Want to talk about context now? The board members exchange uneasy glances. One of them, old Mr. Henley, clears his throat. Karen, is this real? She stammers. He's manipulating this. He's using his position. He's intimidating the board. I step forward. Let me be very clear. I filed this as a citizen. Not as sheriff. But I have every legal right to submit this as evidence of targeted vandalism, harassment, and racial intimidation. She goes pale. That's absurd. You think this is about race? I think you made it about race when you targeted the only black family here for mailbox color. When you sent code enforcement to my land without cause. When you told Andre's wife this neighborhood wasn't ready for too much change. More gasps. A woman near the door shakes her head. She said what? I turn to the crowd. You think this ends with a few fines? Karen's trying to rewrite history. But let me remind you, this land belonged to my grandfather before any of these houses existed. She's not preserving order. She's policing black presence. Karen's voice cracks. That's enough. You're twisting everything. You put nails under my equipment, I say sharply. You cost my family thousands. You endangered my children. Deputy Andre steps in from the back holding a flash drive. We verified the footage. Time, location, everything. It's legit. And we have 3 written statements from residents she pressured into signing complaints they didn't even read. Karen's mouth opens. Closes. She looks around the room. No one meets her gaze. The silence isn't just silence now, it's judgment. I cross my arms. You still want to talk about fines? Karen stumbles back, breath short, pearls trembling against her throat. It is for the first time she realizes. She's not in charge here anymore. Karen's composure crumbles in real time. Her mouth opens then closes as if she's cycling through excuses, hunting for the right lie, but none come. The room is no longer hers. It belongs to the silence, thick with shame and realization. This is outrageous, she blurts, voice rising. He's staging this. Fabricating. Karen. It's Mr. Henley again, the oldest board member and suddenly the only one willing to speak. That's your face on the footage. That's your Lexus. What exactly would he be staging? Her eyes dart to the flash drive in Andre's hand. That footage could be doctored. Deepfakes are real. Anyone could have. Cut the act, says a voice near the door. Everyone turns. It's Linda Morrison, a longtime resident with white hair and a reputation for minding her own business. Until now. She steps forward holding her phone. I have something to add. Karen freezes. Linda lifts her phone and plays a recording. Karen's voice comes through loud and clear, slightly distorted but unmistakable. He's too proud. Thinks being sheriff means we can't touch him. But this isn't his kind of place. Not anymore. We'll bury him in red tape. One complaint at a time. The room shudders. Karen rushes forward. You recorded me? Linda doesn't flinch. At the last board luncheon. When you said it in front of 6 of us. You've been using this HOA to target people. To target him. And we let you. But not anymore. Karen spins to the board. This is a betrayal. This is a setup. Mr. Henley sighs and sets his pen down. No, Karen. This is accountability. She lunges toward the projector wire, yanking it out of the wall. The screen goes black, but it's too late. The truth's already out. The silence is no longer passive. It's judgmental, cold, certain. I step forward. You want to file a countersuit? Be my guest. But know this, your face, your voice, and your actions are already logged. The sheriff's office is opening a criminal investigation into property damage, false code enforcement, and harassment. And the county zoning board will be reviewing all HOA claims filed under your leadership. Karen's hands tremble. You can't do this. You did it to yourself. Then Andre adds, also, we just heard from city code enforcement. They never authorized the inspection on Brooks's barn. You forged that signature. A few gasps turn into shocked murmurs. Karen blinks, stares at nothing, and then, she runs. Literally. Bolts toward the clubhouse exit, nearly knocking over a trash bin. But she doesn't get far. 2 city officers are waiting outside, alerted by Andre 30 minutes ago. They gently stop her. We're going to need you to come with us, ma'am, one says. He screams. This is political. This is racial revenge. You're all just letting him. We have a warrant for your phone and laptop, the other officer says, calm. We'll be reviewing all communications tied to the HOA's complaint system. I don't need to say a word. The whole neighborhood's watching through the clubhouse windows. Some people look stunned. Others nod, slowly, like they've finally seen what they tried to pretend wasn't there. Karen's dragged illusion of control unravels with each step she takes toward the waiting cruiser. Once she's gone, the room feels different. No lighter. Not yet. But cleaner. Like something rotten's finally been scraped out. Mr. Henley clears his throat. Sheriff Brooks. I think the board owes you and your family a sincere apology. We were complicit. Whether actively or passively, we let this happen under our noses. You let it happen because it didn't affect you, I say flatly. He doesn't argue. He just nods. I'd like to propose a full audit of HOA practices, Linda adds. With community oversight. And diversity training for all board members. Seconded, someone says. Then another. Then everyone. The crowd disperses slowly, neighbors coming up to shake my hand, some to offer embarrassed apologies. Angela joins me at the door, slipping her fingers into mine. Her voice is low. You did it. I nod. We did. Back home, I pull the remaining signs down from the gate. The boys are playing near the barn, unaware of the chaos that nearly poisoned their world. I watch them laugh. And I remember what my grandfather said when he handed me the deed to this land. They'll try to push you off it. Not with bulldozers. With laws. With whispers. Stand your ground anyway. Now I have. And now, everyone else has seen why I had to. The HOA's website crashes the next morning. Too many people trying to view the announcement. Karen L. Whitmore removed from board. Formal charges pending. All prior complaints under her leadership under review. Her mugshot makes the rounds by noon. Blotchy makeup. No pearls. No smile. The woman who once called herself the heartbeat of the community now walks out of county court in silence, flanked by reporters and empty friends. The charges are stacked. Vandalism, fraud, harassment, tampering with official documents. Her lawyer can't even look up from his folder. She's ruined. And not just legally. Her real estate license. Suspended. Her HOA consulting side gig? Gone. The local mom's Facebook group? They banned her before the sheriff's office even confirmed the charges. But what hits her hardest isn't the handcuffs or the fines. It's the silence. The polite nods that vanish. The neighbors who used to wave now pretend they don't see her. No more power. No more whispers. No more control. He lost all of it. And all I had to do was stand my ground. 3 weeks later, I'm back on the tractor. Sun's shining. The cows are grazing. My youngest is chasing chickens with a plastic sword. Angela's got lemonade on the porch and Andre's helping me repair the barn roof. Peace. But not the old kind, the new kind. The kind that's earned after surviving fire. At the town hall meeting last night, Mr. Henley stepped down. Voluntarily. Time for a new voice, he'd said. Time we started listening, not just managing. Linda Morrison was appointed interim chair. First order of business? Mandatory bias training. Second, a complete rewrite of the HOA charter with community oversight. And during the Q&A, something strange happened. People started confessing. A neighbor stood and said, I never liked what Karen was doing, but I didn't want to rock the boat. I see now. Silence is siding. Another said, I used to think not racist was enough. But now I know better. And when someone asked how we rebuild trust, Angela said something I won't forget. You build trust the same way you build fences. Together and one post at a time. The room clapped. But I just watched her, heart full. Today I drive the tractor past the field where Karen once stood, snapping photos like she owned the dirt. Now it's just grass and sunlight. Nothing of her remains. Except maybe the lessons. That power unchecked will always overreach. That silence feeds poison. And that sometimes justice doesn't come roaring in. It grows slow and steady like roots under the soil. And when it finally breaks through, it's unshakable. Angela walks out with a basket of sweet corn, waving me in. The boys yell something about frogs. And for the first time in a long time, I breathe easy. No codes. No threats. No sabotage. Just home. I always was. Always will be.